Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a favorites video, and it's been a minute, a very long minute since I've done one of these. So I'm excited to share some old stuff with you that were favorites a while ago and some current favorites. And so if you like this kind of content and other homeschool content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into this video. Okay, I have my list down here because there's several things that I could not physically bring to this room to show you. And so I will reference my list to make sure I do not forget them. But the first thing I wanted to mention is my oven. I got a new oven. So when we moved into this house, it was like 8 months old, and it, since it had just been built, a lot of the dishwasher, the oven, they weren't really great quality, so we replaced the dishwasher because we had to, because it was just horrible. And the stove I never loved from the get-go, but I bake, I cook. That's one of the main things I do in my life. And so I wanted a really nice oven. And initially I was like, oh, we're gonna do a Viking oven. But I was like, I am not gonna pay that much money. I just couldn't see spending that much money on an oven. And we have just a normal size space. I think it's like 30 inches, so we couldn't even get like a really cool big Viking oven. It just had, which obviously would have been more expensive. I'm like, I just have this limited space. And when I tiled the backsplash, because we didn't have a backsplash when we moved in, so I tiled it. And when I put it there, I put it all the way flush with the counter, with the plan to one day have an oven that didn't have a back on it, that would just sit flush and you'd be able to see all the tile. And so I waited and waited, it's been 4 years, I guess, about, and saved money and was like, okay, I'm gonna get my oven. Not a Viking oven, but still a really, really good oven. It still was expensive. It still was a lot higher end. I think I just got it from Home Depot or Lowe's, but we have a gas range and I love having gas ranges. They're really, really great for cooking, and I occasionally do canning stuff, not very often, but they're also really good for that kind of stuff. And so I got one that has 4 burners along the sides. Mostly I use the front 2 burners, and then it has a huge burner down the middle, and it came with a griddle pan, so you can put it down on that burner if you want. I think I've only done that one time. And then it has the option to have just baking, like normal baking. I can't think what it's called, or convection baking, with the fan where the whole oven is mostly the same temperature. So you basically could put stuff anywhere in there and it would cook about the same. And so sometimes we use convection baking and sometimes we don't. It just kind of depends what I'm making. And it's all like digital, but it also ties to my phone. It has an app on my phone, and so I can check it or turn the oven on, or if we weren't here, I wanted to make sure it got turned off. So there's things like that, and sometimes it will beep on my watch when the timer goes off, so that's sometimes nice as well. But so far I'm loving it. We've had it for almost 3 months, 2 months, and it's been so great. I've really just loved it, and the burners work well. Our last oven, the burners were so hard to get started, which was one of the things that drove me nuts about it. These ones work so well. So I'll make sure I link it down below if I can find the one that we got, just if you've been looking and are interested and want a nicer oven but don't want to pay for a Viking oven. I feel like this one is a really good option. Okay, so the next few things I'm going to show you are some baby items. Again, some of them are a little hard to show, so I'll try to insert footage and you can see them better. And some of these things we don't use as much anymore, and some of them we still do. But I wanted to share because we really enjoyed them when we did use them. So the first is this bouncer chair. So it has this, but it has a big mirror that's gonna be weird if I turn it that way. But we never used one of these for any of my 4 other kids. So I have 5 kids, and we didn't have any baby stuff because we were done having kids, if you don't know. And so I had the 5th baby and was like, okay, well, we'll try the bouncer chair. So I got this one, and like I said, it has this little thing. So the mirror, I think, is supposed to face this way so that they can see themselves, and that's always fun. And then, it has the thing to strap them in. But we used this so much. Obviously, he's way too big to be in this now. He's crawling. Can you believe it? And so he is way too big to be in here. And he couldn't be in it when he was super small either, because it requires a little bit of head strength, because it's sitting like this. but he loved being in it. It was so easy to like put him on the kitchen table when we were doing stuff and just have him sit there, because then he wasn't laying down. You know, once he got to the point where he didn't like to lay down as much, he could be inclined and looking at us. We'd take it outside and he'd sit on the porch. He loves being outside and he'd just watch everything. And so that was really great. It was fun when he started like hitting all these little characters and everything. And we just used it so much. When I bought it, I did not know if it would be worth it. It wasn't super expensive or anything, but I did not know honestly how much we would use it. It was one of the most used things that we had, and he really loved it. So it was kind of sad when he got too big to be in it anymore. Another thing, I guess I'll mention the other thing we don't use as much anymore. I don't even know what you call it. It's not an exo saucer. I think those are what those things are called, but it's kind of similar. And again, I'll put in a picture here, hopefully of him in it. He hasn't been in it very often lately, but it allows him to stand on the outside and go around in a circle, and the toys are all in the middle. And so from a pretty small age, we put him in there, and he's always been pretty tall, so he could still reach the ground and stuff. And he would just walk in circles and walk in circles, and it was so exciting. And before he really had object permanence, he'd walk and see me and be so happy. And then, you know, I wasn't there anymore because he'd keep going around the circle, and then he'd come back around and was so happy again to see me because he was like, oh, she's here again. And so it was really funny. But that kept him really occupied, and now you can use it since he can move to kind of keep him in a spot. You know, he's not going to go anywhere and get into things when you need him just to be kind of in a prison. And so it's still out. We still use it occasionally, but not as much as we did. And it was from my sister, so I'll try to find, I don't even know what they're called, so I'll have to look for one, but my sister had given it to us, so I'll try to link something or find something below that's similar. The other thing that we've loved is this. It's a camping high chair, I guess. It has straps, so you can like connect it to something, and you could use it as their normal high chair, which is basically what we've been doing, because I can't decide what I want to have. I don't necessarily want a high chair that's in the way, but I like just a standalone one that I have to figure out where to put. But I'm like, do I put one on a chair? I'm not really sure yet. I haven't decided, and he's just starting to eat more like of our food. And so we've just been using this, and it collapses up and goes in a bag. And so it's nice too, because if we go visit family and they don't have a chair, you know, we can just fold it up, put it in our car, and then just pull it out there. And now we have a place where he can sit strapped in, and we can feed him, or he can just be in prison again in the high chair. So that's been really nice. I saw someone in our church group that had one, and I was like, we need one of those. And then the last thing I wanted to mention for baby stuff is this ergo. So I think it was like my baby haul video back a long time ago, maybe in January or December, probably before that, I don't know. But I mentioned how I had ergos already, and I have I don't know if they're the original ones, or if there was ones before that. I think they're kind of harder to find now. You could probably find them secondhand, but when I was looking for ergos on Amazon, this was the ones I could find. And I wanted something that was front facing, because the one I have, you can have the baby facing you. They can go on your back, or they could go on your side. But I wanted something forward facing. Sounds like it's car seat, but it's not. Because my baby Locke he likes to be able to see things. He did not necessarily love to be cuddled. And so I needed something different. And even though technically he was too small at the time to really be forward facing, he was tall enough that it was okay. So I really like this one. It's Harry Potter. I haven't read Harry Potter. Oh, I've read the first like 2 or 3 books, but my husband loves Harry Potter, and so do our kids. And so this one I sort of got for that reason. But in reality, when I looked at it, there was like a plain black one and there was a gray one, and they were like $20 to $40 more. And I'm all about like whatever is cheapest. This one was cheapest, so we got Harry Potter. People weren't mad about it, so that was good. But it allowed you to adjust right here the straps according to how big they are, and it gives you a little guide. Even right here it tells you, so if you lose the instructions, you know, it tells you how tall they need to be to adjust these. And then there's some things right here that adjust depending if they're forward, like facing your chest, or they're facing out. And then, yeah, other than that, it's fairly normal. This part flips up, which I don't think the other one does. The other one I have has a big like canopy thing that comes. And then instead of having the pouch right here, my original ergos have the like storage pouch here. It just has this little thing on the bottom. But I've really enjoyed it. We haven't used it too much lately, but it's really great. We used it a ton when we were in Jamaica. And I loved being able to have it and to adjust it and have the option of putting him forward because he just enjoyed that a lot more. Okay, this is a transitional item because it's sort of a baby item, but sort of just a good emergency preparedness item. So these are rinse-free bath sponges. So when we had our baby in the hospital, they actually, they did give us some baby soap, but they also gave us some of these. They're just like little rags that you get wet. So, and then they're disposable. They're probably biodegradable. I don't know if these ones are, but they look like this, and you just get them wet and they set up. Set up, is that? I don't know. They get all suds up. I don't know. Is there an appropriate, correct way to say that? But, and so then you do, and most of them, I think these ones too, yeah, no rinsing required. So they clean you and then no rinsing required. And so I got these two when he was super small because we usually just put baby in the shower with us. And after our first baby, I never got a little baby tub or anything. They just go in the shower with us, or if they do need a quick rinse, I would just wipe them down with a rag. So these were nice. And again, like I said, in the hospital, that's what they gave us. So that's why I went looking for it in the first place, was a rag that was similar to what they had given us. And you can cut these. I think I cut them when he was smaller, because it's big, like, and it will go a long ways with just a small piece. But then I also put this in his 72-hour kit, but we get to use it for all of us in an emergency or anything, because like I said, all you need is water and you don't have to rinse it away. So it's just using a teeny bit of water, and since you don't have to rinse, you save water that way as well. So it's a great thing to have in some sort of emergency preparedness thing. Okay, this is just kind of a cute, fun thing, I guess, as I was thinking about stuff and making a list over the last several months. This is a Mommy and Me journal, and my daughter made this. They have activity days for a church group. It's like the 8 to 11-year-old girls basically, and they get together a couple times a month usually and do activities. So they had made these journals, and the idea is they write a question to you and they can like leave it on your bed. You can have a place where you want them to leave it, or it can just be fun, like surprises you wherever it is. And then you answer the question back to them, and then you ask them a question. And we haven't used it so much recently, but when she first made it, which was like in May, I think, we went back and forth a few times, so I'll probably write her another question. But it's a good way to keep open communication with your kids. You could make them for all of your kids. They don't have to be cute like this if you don't want them to be cute. But it could be a fun thing for daughters especially. And then they had printed, the leader that did this had printed out some prompts too. If you can't think of a question, so like, what was the best part of your day? What makes a good friend? Maybe some food you like, or your favorite part of the weekend, different things like that, that just keep that communication with your kids. So as they get older, things get harder, more difficult issues, they're already used to talking and sharing with you what's going on in their life. So I just thought I would share this because I just thought it was a fun, cute idea and a favorite thing of mine. Okay, so I think the last few items are more for me, more me items. So the first one was my watch. I got this maybe November or December of last year, and I have really liked it. I have not used it to the fullest of its ability, believe me, but so it's supposed to be a fitness type watch, and I didn't want something that was gonna ping me all the time. This one can ping you for like texts, emails, calls, all that stuff. I turn those notifications off. I am already connected enough in the world. I do not need my wrist buzzing 24/7 to let me know something is happening. So I turned all those things off. I usually, like, especially when I was pregnant, I like to monitor my heart rate. I like to use it when I work out. You can track your workouts. It has a whole list in here of like cardio, strength training type stuff. You can put in, what you're doing. And then you have an app on your phone to look at. It tracks your sleeping. It can keep tracks of like your periods if you want it to, all sorts of things like that. And so I have really enjoyed it. It was something I was very torn about buying for a long time. I just didn't know if it was going to be worth it to me, but now when I don't wear it, I'm like, wait, what's going on? What time is it? And then like if I want to look at my heart rate or want to see what the temperature is outside, it's all right here. But again, I was able to turn off the notifications of the things I really didn't want, which is why I was hesitant to buy it in the first place. And so anyway, I'll link it down below. I think I just got it off of Amazon. I believe it's a Garmin watch. I don't know, because you know, the old digital watches used to say on them what they were, but this one I'm like, I don't know. But I think it's Garmin. And then a few other things. So this is sort of homeschool. It's kind of a mix for homeschool and mom. But these are little magnets. It's going to be really hard to see them. They're magnet bookmarks. And I have a variety of them. And my kids use them too for their reading. These ones are just teeny. They're like little flag. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. I might lay them out on like the table and take a picture so you can see them better. We have them all stacked up. They're like in a pile right here. And there's some purple ones, there's green ones, and you can put them on your book as a bookmark. And these ones are nice too, because if you stop in the middle of a page, you can kind of flag where you are. My kids also use it for their math book, their reading books, all that kind of stuff, their language arts, to mark where they are. And I have these ones. These ones are a little bit bigger, if you can see that. And they just open and go over the page. They're not the strongest magnet, so obviously if you hit them and stuff, they're going to slide off. But for what we need them for, they're really helpful, and I like to use them in the books I'm reading. And then this is also a sort of homeschool thing, but also a mom crafting thing. And it's a cordless hot glue gun. Best thing ever. Okay, I've had this for months, but only recently opened it because I had a baby. Life's been crazy. But it does not come with a battery. So I already have, like I have a nail gun and all that kind of stuff. So this battery is off my nail gun. So if you don't have a battery, you'll have to buy one. And I had the charger and all that kind of stuff. So this battery comes off right here. And some of the Roby things take different batteries. So make sure you have the right one. And then you just turn it on, it warms up the glue guns. Then you can just take this off and do it. And I love it. This hole is a little bit smaller, so it's slightly easier to control, and you don't get as many strings, and it's not as messy. And then the drips fall on this. It's like a plastic, I don't know if it's supposed to be special or not, but they drop here, and then it's super easy to clean off. And as you can see, I have used it a few times in the last like few weeks, and you just pull it right off, pull all the little drips off, and then it's like brand new. It looks so clean. My other ones are not. They do not look like this. Probably because they have cords on them. No, I'm just kidding. But it's so nice for me to just be able to grab it and pull wherever I need to instead of worrying about where the cord's going, if it's going to drag over everything. So if you do a lot of crafting or even homeschool stuff where you might need a hot glue gun, this is extremely, extremely helpful, and I've really liked it a lot. And the last things I'm going to share with you are a few clothing items that I was like, oh, I've gotten a few things that I've liked. So these are from Amazon, just some shirts that I think, did I get mediums? I don't know. I'll put it down in the description box because this doesn't say, maybe on another tag, but I have another one that's dirty, but I'll show you two of them that I do have. So they have this fun little stitching on the back, like expose. My kids, whenever I wear these kind of shirts, always, they're like, is your shirt inside out? I know it's supposed to be that way. Or they don't ask me if it's inside out. My son Manti will come up and he's like, Mom, your shirt is inside out. And I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like this. Anyway, so I thought that was cute. And I like these because they have longer sleeves. So they hit a little bit more mid-arm and they're not tight, which is good. Like, I feel like that looks better on my arms and my shoulders. And then I have a blue one like this as well. And then this one, I haven't worn yet. I've tried it on. I haven't worn it yet because it's still summer here and this is a sweater. But I saw people, bringing out all the Old Navy fall things. And so I got this. I love this color. First of all, this color is like one of my favorite things. But it's like a Henley sweatshirt. And I think it's still available in like normal sizes, but not in talls. The ones that I kept, I got one that was normal size, which wasn't, my arms are so long and everything's so cropped nowadays that a lot of things are just harder for me to wear if they're not a tall. But definitely for long sleeves, I need a tall because otherwise they like come up to here because my arms are 6 feet wide and I'm 5'10". And so my arms are super long. And so I really love this one, and I am so excited to wear it. I put it on and I was just like, yes, this is everything. So I hope they're still available, and hopefully you don't need talls. Maybe they'll come back with the talls. I know that they had gone away for a while, so maybe they'll come back, but they had a few different colors and I'm just in love with it. I had one more thing. I like looked down my list. I'm like, wait, there's one more thing. So these garage lights, I can't show them to you, but I'll put like a picture here maybe of my garage. My father-in-law, I went into his garage and thought the garage doors were open because the lights were so bright. I was like, what lights are you using? Because he has a lot of lights and he's wired it to have more. We only have 2 lights and our ceilings are really high on our first floor, and our garages are so dark. We're not in them a whole lot when they're not open, but there are times I'm out there trying to do stuff at night and I can't see anything. Or in the morning if you're working out and it's still dark, you can't see anything. And so they're, again, I'll insert a picture because I don't think I can explain them, but they open like a little fan and have lights on each side of the panel. Like they're pretty small, but they open and they just like cast so much light. So great. Even for us that we only have one in each of our garages, they still are so bright. And I love them so much. I was so excited to find something that would work without us having to rewire and, you know, create other places where we could plug in lights on our ceiling. And so I was very happy, and my father-in-law had them and I was like, where'd you get these? What are they? I need them now. And so I'll make sure to link the ones I got down below because I think they're just from Amazon and they were cheaper than the ones he said he got. Okay, so those are my favorites, or past favorites, for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 months, I guess. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun for you, or maybe gave you some ideas, or you just enjoyed listening to me rant and talk to you for 25 minutes. Hopefully that was fun for you. But if you like these types of videos, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.